Hey, we're already getting ready for the next hot dog video, but then I realized I didn't introduce this current video that you're watching right now. So, in this video, I'm making a Sosis Bandari inspired hot dog and a bruschetta hot dog. So, hope you enjoy. Our first step on the Sosis Bandari is caramelizing onions. So, low and slow in extra virgin olive oil. So, we're going to let this go for a little while. All right, our onions are starting to get about, I'd say about 3/4 of the way there. So now we're going to go ahead and fry up our hot dogs. Now I'm doing something today that I told myself I was never going to do on this particular series. And that was to modify the actual hot dog in any way. So today, I'm breaking that rule. I cut it up to match more closely, like real recipes for, or like recipes for actual Sosis Bandari. Which calls for chopping the sausage up and mixing it in with everything. So I decided to go with it. I kind of wanted to get something a little bit closer. I'm not going to use the word authentic, but a little bit closer to kind of like the actual look and feel of it. But that's what we did. So that's why it's chopped for the first time on this podcast. Other than like cut in half, you know, for some videos.
Not a podcast, but go ahead.
I've just been informed that I said the word podcast. Video on this series, this YouTube channel. Anyways, cut. Okay, so we've got everything about as close as we're going to get. So now, at this point, we just got to pull the hot dog and and the onion out. And in it, we're going to add our chili, some garlic, turmeric, however you want to pronounce it, like that, and some tomato paste. And then we're just going to let this cook for a little bit, and we'll check back in with the next step. Alright, so we've let this simmer for just a moment, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add in just a little bit of water. A little bit more, probably about there. And we're going to bring this up to a simmer again, and it'll simmer for 5 minutes. So, that just about brings us to the end of the prep work necessary for the Sosis Bandari. As we're closing in, we're going to do some last prep steps. Obviously, for the Bruschetta Dog, we need a toasted bun. And we're going to do that with spritzing it with some olive oil. We're going to throw it in here until it gets a little crispy. Unfortunately, we can't have the same crispiness as actual bruschetta, because otherwise how would we possibly eat this hot dog? It just wouldn't work out. But we're going to let it get fairly toasty, right at the edge of where we can't use it anymore. But while that goes in, we're going to scoop our onions and our hot dog back in here. We're going to give this a good mix, and this will be our Sosis Bandari. Doesn't that look yummy? I think it does. I think it's going to have a whole lot of flavor. So, in the meantime, we're going to start getting the station ready for us to build these hot dogs. But pretty much everything's done. We're just waiting on that bread to toast. We already have hot dogs. Ignore that timer. We already have hot dogs starting to grill up. So by the time the bread's done, those should be done too. Alright, time to assemble. We're going to start off with the Sosis Bandari. But as you might imagine, all the hard work's done. So what do we have? Only the best condiment to ever be created, and well, only the best American condiment, and that would be mayo. Yeah, there we go. We're going to start off with our mayo, and then we're going to load this up with our mixture. Ooh, little oily. Okay, now it's time to build our bruschetta dog, toasted bun with olive oil, our dog right here, and then start us off with, you know what, actually, what's going to be a better way of loading this particular dog up? We're going to cut this guy in half so that things can actually sit in there a little bit better. And I'm going slow here because I don't want to cut all the way through. There we go, keeping that skin on the bottom intact. Now, load this up with tomatoes right here in the middle, just like that. Next up, some garlic. Whole lot of garlic cloves, I know, but who doesn't love an overdose of garlic? Then, of course, our Parmesan cheese. There we go. Some basil. And, of course, balsamic. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're going to let that drain for a moment, and then we'll be back to taste test. Okay, so I was planning on taste testing the bruschetta one last. We're going to go first because we're going to get what I already know to be the nasty dog out of the way. I don't know for sure. I'm just assuming. Take a look at that bottom. It is black from all the balsamic vinegar. So that's unfortunate. We're going to try the side that's not got a black bottom. Oh, it was mushy. I touched it. I'm kind of hoping this side saves it. Unfortunately, there's only one more bite I can have of this hot dog before I'm eating straight balsamic. So, on a rating, you know what? It's like a lot of good textures going on in that one. I'm going to give it like a 3.5. But I think we have a history of rounding down, so we're going to give it a 3. Probably could be better. Probably could make a much better version. But as a first try, it's probably a 3. Now, for this bad boy, I know this one's going to be the good one because it has mayo. Wow. Okay, so this one, Sosis Bandari, it's got a good spice to it, which I really love coming from that chili pepper. Having the hot dog already pre-chopped up in this mess changes it a lot. You know, you can take that bite, you're expecting that crunch with a hot dog. You don't get that with this one, the way I made it. But I gotta say, what's throwing me off the most is the texture with all of that tomato paste in here. I don't know how to rank this one. Like, it's good. It has a lot of really good flavor. That spiciness. It was a serrano. It was a serrano I put in there. It's giving just the right amount of spiciness, and it's been tamed down from all the tomato paste. So you're able to just get a nice little, like, kind of like light sting from the serrano pepper and its seeds, but you're still getting the flavor of it. I like this dog. I think it's really good. The texture is just throwing me off because it doesn't feel like I'm eating a hot dog. That being said, I think we're still going to give it a 4. I feel pretty good about a 4. It could have been a 5, but the texture is really throwing me off. I can see why this is a really popular sandwich, though. So, cheers.